I'm Henry Golding, and on today's show I'll be tackling the mammoth problem of obesity with bite-sized strategies. Stay tuned.
It could be as simple as changing when you eat.
What I would plan for you would be small frequent meals.
Okay.
Say for example, you'll be eating every 2 to 3 hours.
At a height of 170 centimeters, Trina is 94.6 kilograms. At her heaviest, she was 120 kilograms. In the last 10 years, she's been on a series of different diet permutations. Low carb, high protein, low fat, zigzag, cabbage soup, South Beach, Atkins, Dukan, blood type, you name it. But doing nothing is not an option. Trina's body mass index, or BMI, is 32.5, putting her squarely in the obese range. An examination of Trina's body also reveals that her visceral fat mass is 8.
The visceral fat is too high for her height to weight ratio.
Visceral fat actually is associated with higher risk of diabetes, coronary heart diseases. It also is associated with lower levels of good cholesterol, higher levels of bad cholesterol. And obesity not only is associated with cardiovascular problems, but also it also increases your risk of certain cancers, sleep apnea, respiratory problems, depression. Obese women like Trina is 13 times more likely to develop type 2 diabetes, and 4 times more likely to develop hypertension, and 3 times more likely to develop cardiovascular diseases. And so it is important for her to maintain a healthy weight range. I think people who are overweight or obese can be consuming too many calories without themselves knowing, and I don't think that eating too much or eating extra calories is due to only their willpower. Sometimes it can be hormone related.
But for an obese person like Trina, her ghrelin stays at a fairly constant and low level during the day, regardless of if she's eaten or not. It's kind of like a dull but constant hungry feeling that lasts throughout the day. And her fullness hormone, PYY, only rises slightly after a meal, so she never gets that feeling of fullness. So the cold hard truth is that thin people eat less and obese people tend to overeat.
Weight loss is actually achieved from calorie deficit, meaning that you are eating fewer calories than what you need. So say for Trina's case, I would recommend a deficit of 500 calories. So in a week, it's about 3,500 calories.
If you only approach weight loss by exercise, it would take a lot of exercise in order to reduce your weight depending on your diet plan. So if you were to consume one donut, it would take a lot of training just to burn that one donut worth of calories off. So that's not very sustainable.
Trina's job doesn't leave her much time for exercise, so I brought on a dietitian, Bibi Chia, to help her make a sustainable change to her diet so she can reduce the number of calories she's taken in. Instead of 3 meals a day, Bibi recommends that Trina take 6 small meals, one of which will be a meal replacement drink, and all of the above has to be recorded in her diet journal.
I've recommended that Trina take 6 small meals. We often call this small frequent meals, in order to improve her weight loss results. What it does is that it prevents Trina from falling hungry between meals, and also it gives her sustained amount of energy throughout the day.
After the break, with these new diet strategies, how much weight will Trina lose? Trina is back at the dietitian's after 2 weeks of her new diet. 2 weeks ago, her BMI measured 32.5 and her visceral fat percentage was high. She was at risk of type 2 diabetes and a host of cardiovascular problems. As a step towards sustainable weight loss, dietitian Bibi Chia tweaked her diet to cut her daily caloric intake.
What I would plan for you would be small frequent meals.
Okay.
Say for example, you'll be eating every 2 to 3 hours. They will be small.
Your bone mass has increased slightly, meaning your bones are more dense, so you're getting stronger and stronger. If we look at your body fat, it has dropped down from 45.2% down to 44.3%.
And BB's examination of Trina's food and exercise diary revealed why Trina hasn't been on track with her weight loss. In the first few weeks of her diet, she consistently had 5 small meals and the meal replacement for dinner. But in the second week, she ate a regular meal instead of her meal replacement.
Weight loss is about calorie deficit, and so even if we recommend small frequent meals 6 times a day, it is still about fewer calories. So for Trina's case, she was losing weight when she was on the meal replacement, and she was eating fewer calories, and when she stopped the meal replacement and went back to her usual diet, we noticed that her weight went back up.